Let's talk about selling your house with solar panels in Arizona with ease. Selling a house with leased solar panels certainly adds a layer of complication to the process, but don't let it scare you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to prepare and what the process is. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back and for spending your time with me. My name is Lindsay and I'm proud to be your Anthem, Arizona realtor with the Wise Move AZ team at Realty One Group. On this channel, we have a lot of fun talking about all things Anthem and real estate every single Thursday, and we absolutely love having you along for the ride. Before we jump in, I want to be clear. This video is tailored towards sellers in Arizona who have leased solar panels on their home that will convey to the buyer in the sale. If you're fortunate enough to own your solar panels outright, know that your process will look a little bit different, but you are absolutely more than welcome to stick around. On the flip side, if you're a buyer who's considering purchasing an Arizona home with leased solar panels, you're going to want to click and watch this video instead because it handles the process from the buyer's perspective. Now that we've got that cleared up, let's dive into these 6 tips to assist you in selling your home as it pertains to your solar lease. Tip number 1, use the AAR Solar Lease Addendum. If you've watched our videos in the past, chances are you've heard me talk about just how much I love the forms that the Arizona Association of Realtors puts together. They are incredible resources. The proper name for this form is the Solar Lease/Solar Loan Assumption Addendum. Try saying that 3 times fast. Anyways, this 2-page document is designed to protect the buyer and the seller by clearly laying out their contractual obligations where the assumption of a solar lease is involved. This document lays out the timelines that both parties will be required to adhere to, recommended due diligence for the buyer, and resolutions for possible problems that could crop up as a result of the buyer trying to assume the lease. This addendum is essential when selling an Arizona home with leased solar panels, so make sure that it's incorporated into your purchase contract. I won't bore you by reading the whole addendum here, but I have dropped a link in the description box below to a sample copy of the form, and I encourage you to download it and read it on your own time. I strongly recommend that you sign this document with your agent, whether that's us or someone else, at the time that you're signing your listing package. This way, your agent can provide it to any interested buyers before they submit an offer. When you do receive an offer to purchase your home, make sure that the appropriate box is checked to incorporate this addendum into your purchase contract. Tip number 2, compile your solar system documents. As outlined in the solar lease addendum, the solar system documents include the most recent version of the system lease or loan, any other solar system documents in your possession, and the name and number of the lessor. The lessor is usually the solar company, like Tesla, for example. Please do yourself a favor and compile all of this information before you list the property for sale. It will save you the hassle of rushing around trying to track it all down when you're under contract and timelines are tight. If you're having trouble tracking down these documents, you may want to reach out to the lessor directly. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Do all of the documents you've compiled answer the questions that the buyers are likely to have about the system? Buyers most likely want to know about the following: the age of the system, how well the system has been maintained, monthly fees and how they change over time, any transfer fees, the nature of the grid tie-in, the lease terms, any output and production guarantees, and any warranties. Most of this information can be found directly in the lease agreement. If you happen to have maintenance records, put those together too. Lastly, I strongly recommend that you put together a year's worth of electricity bills. This way, the buyer will have an idea of the cost above the lease. If you happen to have copies of your electricity bills before the solar was installed, that can be really cool for the buyer to see too. If not, don't worry. Tip number 3, service and clean your system. Does the lessor provide regular servicing for the system? If it's been a while, reach out and ask them to come out before you list the property for sale, just to ensure that everything is running as it should be. Additionally, I recommend that you clean the panels prior to listing. If you're used to cleaning the panels yourself, that's great. If not, hire someone to jump up there and do it for you. The buyers want to know that they're assuming a lease for a system that has been loved and well cared for. Tip number 4, contact the lessor. Speaking of the lessor, even if the system has been recently serviced, I recommend that you give them a call. Let them know that you'll be selling the home and take time to learn a little bit about the process on their end. Is there anything they need from you at this time? Is there anything they can do to get a jump start on the paperwork? The more we can do to keep everyone on the same page throughout the transaction, the better. Number 5, know your timelines. As with any part of the real estate transaction, it is really important that you know and understand your timelines. If you're working with a realtor, they'll be watching all of the timelines very closely for you. It's kind of our thing. With respect to the solar system, there are a few dates you need to be aware of. 1, the seller has 3 days after contract acceptance to deliver all of the solar system documents to the buyer. 2, the buyer can disapprove of any items within the solar system documents within 5 days of receipt or within the inspection period, whichever is later. And 3, the buyer must obtain lessor approval to assume the solar lease or loan no later than 3 days prior to close of escrow. Your realtor will be able to walk you through the ramifications of what happens if any of these timelines are not adhered to on a case-by-case basis. That being said, as the seller, your biggest obligation is to deliver all of the necessary documents and to make your home available for inspections. If you have all of the documents together before you even list the house, it will be a breeze. Tip number 6, check your listing. In Arizona, as a part of the documents you'll sign when listing your home, your agent, whether that's us or someone else, will have you sign off on what's called the residential input form. This is basically a sneak peek of what your listing will look like in the MLS, minus the beautiful photos. Yeah, okay, it's not as exciting as it sounds. While there is a lot to review in this document, I want you to make sure that it is clear that your home has leased solar panels. I recommend that your agent includes a copy of the solar lease/solar loan assumption addendum that you signed in the Documents tab in the MLS. I also recommend that they include a note in the private remarks section, which is visible to other agents, that all offers must include the solar lease addendum at the time of offering. Again, we just want to make sure that any potential buyers are fully aware that they will need to qualify for and assume the lease for the system. So there you have it. All of this can be done fairly quickly. If you put the time in up front, it will make everything easier when the right buyer comes along. As I mentioned before, if you're interested in familiarizing yourself with the solar lease addendum, I've dropped a link to a sample copy in the description box below. If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and leaving me a comment. Lastly, if you want tips on getting the rest of your home ready to sell in 30 days or less, click to watch this video up top. Or if you've been wondering whether or not you should accept a contingent offer to purchase your home, click to watch this video on the bottom. Enjoy those, and I'll see you next Thursday.